popo thing is water paper, but this motherfucking Grey Goose, baby.
It's time. Your triple bogey, long shot parlay, full send degenerates had a place to call home. Look no further. It's the D-Gen Podcast.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the D-Gen Podcast. I am your host, Wayne Wagyu, alongside my fellow co-host, Mikey Rom. The NFL regular season has come to an end, Mikey, but NFL wildcard weekend is here. Probably my favorite week in the NFL season.
One of the best, for sure.
Outstanding. One thing that is simply outstanding is all of our sponsors. Let's not forget, this podcast is presented to you by Sleeper. Go to the Sleeper app, download it, use promo code RF-DGEM podcast. You're going to get a 100% deposit match in your first deposit up to $100. And also Sunday swag and Mikey Raw. I know Christmas just went, but there's still an opportunity to use that promo code of DGEN15 to get 15% off, because before you know it, it's January, spring's right around the corner, gonna be golf season again. We were just talking, Scottsdale has great golf courses.
They fucking sure do, yeah.
How did you golf them, though?
Terrible, but it was fucking fun. I looked good doing it with my Sunday swag.
Exactly, look good, feel good, play good. And last but not least, not sipping on some cold, refreshing Cape Cod craft cocktails tonight. I wish we were, but we are not. I dropped the bag, forgot the bag. But as always, drink responsibly. Go to CapeCodderCraftCocktails.com. Click the Find Us tab and find a local package store near you. Like I had mentioned, Mikey, wild card weekend, man.
Yes.
How do you feel about these games? The lines?
Yeah, nice little 6-game slate. This is like the sweet spot, I feel like, for games. Like, it's not too many where like you don't know really what's going on. You're constantly like sweating your best, not knowing what you have going. But there's not so little games where you can only have 1 or 2 moments of joy or misery. So 6-game slate, I'm excited.
So before we dip into the slate, there was definitely some big news that broke today before coming in here to record the episode. Most notably being Nick Saban retires.
Just broke.
Literally on the way here, I thought. And then also coaching change in Seattle. No more Pete Carroll. He's going to be
an advisor. Whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah. It sounds like it wasn't mutual. It sounds like they pushed him out.
No.
I'm willing to bet that some of these more desperate teams, like a Los Angeles Chargers,
he's going to get some calls.
Whatever, are going to be calling him almost immediately. The ties to the West Coast with USC, I could see that happening. But Nick Saban retiring, I mean, is it an immediate drop-off for Alabama? Like, does all the people that essentially said, hey, I'm committing to your school or currently at the school to say,
definitely, there's no question they're going to take a recruiting hit, right? Like, it's going to be a recruiting hit. I mean, the SEC's definitely shaken up this year. You know, they got teams coming in, teams going out. I think Nick Saban saw the writing on the wall and said, you know, I was dominant during this stage of the SEC. It's time for me to get out while I'm ahead. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a recruiting drop-off, and that's going to translate to the field, but we'll see.
You sound a little nasally.
Dude, this is the Jordan flu game for me. I'm unwell. I think like everybody right now, it feels like everybody's sick. Yesterday, I felt like I was going to die. Today, not so much, so that's progress, but yeah, nasally Mike is going to have to get through this pod.
Well, this is what legends are made of. Mikey Rom flu game, dipping into the first game of the wild card weekend. We have Saturday at 4:30 kickoff. The Cleveland Browns on the road taking on the Houston Texans. Currently right now, the Texans are home dogs, plus 2.5, plus 120 on the money line. 44.5 is the total. Mikey, last time these guys played, CJ Stroud, no show, was hurt, didn't play.
Yep.
Joe Flacco did have a pretty good game, did turn the ball over twice, but had 3 TDs while he did it, 368 yards passing, 27 for 42 throwing. The game was kind of a blow, 36-22. I predict this game to be obviously a lot closer based off of who's playing at quarterback for the Texans now. Where are you at with this first game?
Yeah, like you said, CJ Stroud out the first time these teams met. Before I go, who do you think comeback player of the year is? Do you think it's Damar Hamlin or Joe Flacco? Who do you think deserves it?
Honestly, I mean, Damar Hamlin had 2 tackles his entire season.
Yeah, like, but he also was dead.
I get the idea.
He also was dead and now he's alive.
I get that, but like I think that the award should be declared or awarded
based on production.
Based on production.
Okay, that's fair.
And for that reason, I mean, Joe Flacco. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, it's got to be Flacco. I agree with you. I was just curious your thoughts. Yeah, I'm going with the Browns here. I guess that was kind of like my precursor to this. I just think they have too much firepower. I mean, they rested a lot of their players last week. They lost. I don't think there should be any weight held to that game. They literally didn't play anybody. And Flacco's been hot. He's known him get hot in the playoffs. I mean, he was considered elite on the Ravens when he led them that Super Bowl. So, yeah, I think the Browns win this game and cover here. I know the Texans are going to be a hot pick by a lot of people. They're exciting, young quarterback, CJ Stroud. I just think the lights might be a bit too bright for his first season, his first playoff game. I don't think that he'll quite be ready for it. That's not a knock on CJ Stroud. I just think it's, a big moment at home, Texans first time in playoffs in a while. So I think they start slow, and I don't think they can recover from that slow start. So I'm going to roll with the Browns here.
I have a counter to your Comeback Player of the Year award with CJ Stroud playing in this game. Obviously played outstanding all season. Rookie quarterback, second pick overall in the playoffs, leading his team basically to the playoffs. Who's rookie of the year? Him or Puka Nacua, who also set he set a record of his own and played absolutely lights out, also in the postseason.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, CJ Stroud did miss some time. Not his fault, obviously. Concussion, it seems like it was a pretty serious one, and he has bounced back. But, I mean, when you set the rookie receiving yards and rookie receiving receptions record, I feel like you have to win Rookie of the Year. And it will really do a lot for the NFL to say, here's a wide receiver winning this award and not a quarterback for once. And other positions can win awards too. So for that reason, I think Puka will probably win. There is the little asterisk that there's an extra game this year. So it's not, he broke the record, but we're going to see a lot of records get broken in the years to come because of that extra game. So there is that little asterisk, but I think that he was close enough and he was valuable to his team enough where he should win the award.
So getting back into this game, Cleveland Browns, like I said, -2.5. I love Cleveland this week. I am a little bit worried at 60% of the bets coming in on them so far. But with that being said, I think rightfully so. I just think that CJ Stroud, as well as he's played this season, he's going against a totally different animal in the Cleveland Browns defense. That defense is going to be rushing him out of the pocket. He is a good quarterback on the run, running outside the pocket. But I think it's going to be a little bit too much for him in this game. So give me Cleveland -2.5. Moving on to what is just turning into a more interesting game as the hour goes along, Mikey. The weather here in KC is going to be possibly one of the coldest, if not the coldest NFL game ever recorded. Currently, -5 degrees, possible wind chill of -9 degrees in the game. To be noted, Tua going into this game in the Miami Dolphins have lost 6 straight games against winning teams. And also Tua has never started a game below 29 degrees. So this game, currently the Kansas City Chiefs are favored -4, -205 in the money line. 44 is the total, Mikey. A lot of different angles to come out with this one, but where are you at?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Wayne. I wrote down the over. But after that little stat there, not a stat, but that little weather Doppler report, I think I might have to flip here and go under. Yeah, I don't like the Dolphins in cold weather. I honestly don't like the Chiefs in that cold weather either. I mean, their offense has been struggling this year. I think we can both agree they're not the same team that they were. Yeah, I think the under here kind of makes sense. If I had to pick a side, I'd probably go with the Chiefs just because they're at home and they have a little bit better track record of playing in the cold. So for that reason, I'm going to go under on the Chiefs. But yeah, that's cold. Is that enjoyable to go to that game? Like you just freeze your dick off and potentially
you're
lose.
definitely putting hand warmers in your pants everywhere. Hand warmers probably shouldn't be. You're going to need to put them because
put them in your eyeballs.
Like that's frostbite. Imagine being up in the nosebleeds too.
There will be people up there.
There is windburn and frostbite happening.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, I'm basically analyzing this game from the side of it that Kansas City basically had 2 weeks to prepare for this Miami Dolphins team.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins were playing for the division last week. They took the game on like they would any other game, fully committed against the Buffalo Bills, didn't turn out in their favor. But with that being said, Kansas City is also a lot more rested. Patrick Mahomes had the week off last week.
Yep. I just Kelsey also had the week off.
Yep. I just think between the health angle, the 2 weeks to prepare for Miami, potentially, actually, I guess they really didn't know they were playing Miami until they lost. But either way, they knew what 2 teams they were going to have to pick from. and just the overall being able to play in the cold better than a team that's obviously from Miami. So give me Kansas City Chiefs -4. This is like totally a lockable play for me. I also love the under here, a 44. I think that you're going to really see a game where it turns into a ground game. Isaiah Pacheco, I think, has a hell of a game. Raheem Mostert's also banged up, so we don't even know if he's even going to play. So which also puts a lot of stress on the passing game. Obviously, the weather's not going to be ideal for passing, so who knows really how functional the offense here is going to be from Miami. So give me the Chiefs -4, give me the under of 44. Moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are on the road against the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills, arguably the hottest team in the league right now, winning 6 of their last 7 games. This game also, though, going to be a windy, rainy mess, Mikey Rom. They're predicting 11 to 23 mile per hour winds with gusts upward of 48 miles per hour. We know weather Dopplers is in the building, by the way.
Seriously.
Just in case you wanted to know. But this is all very important to the betting strategy here this weekend. So Buffalo Bills currently a -10, -550 in the money line. Steelers +410 on the money line. 36.5 is the total. And may I add, Mikey Rom, no TJ Watt this week for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And without TJ Watt, Pittsburgh 1-10 lifetime without TJ Watt. They're running into an absolute buzzsaw of the Buffalo Bills. I mean, this spread is large. I think that the rain is going to play to the favor of the Steelers in terms of keeping it close enough. But overall, I think that Mason Rudolph has kind of had his couple weeks here where he's broke out, time to shine. I think he comes back down to earth. There has to be some sort of regulation to where he's at and some sort of evening out because he's not as good as he's been playing. It's just a matter of fact. So give me the Buffalo Bills sprinkling -10, not exactly like super confident, but I do also with the weather like the under here at 36.5. I think that Buffalo will put up points, but not at the clip they normally would with these brutal wins. Steelers have no chance of really putting up any points, I think, and that's my analysis. Where are you at with this game?
Yeah, moral lock the Steelers +10 here. I mean,
62% of the bets coming in on the Steelers right now.
I don't care. For all the reasons you just kind of said, like the low total, 36.5, that's a low total for this high of a spread. It's going to be windy and gusty. It's going to be a ground attack. Mike Tomlin missed a fucking 9-8, always getting his teams in the playoffs when they're not that good. Like, he's going to keep this game close. The Bills will win this game. Like, there's no question about it. But 10 points is a lot of points. The Steelers have sneaky been running the ball very well the past few games. Najee Harris somehow decided to wake up and be a good NFL player once my fantasy season is over, which is fucking great. But he's been good. I mean, that ground attack is moving. The team's playing for, I can't believe I'm saying this, Mason Rudolph. Like, they seem to like him there. Think he should be the guy. Like, they're rallied behind him. And yeah, the Bills are a buzzsaw. They'll win the game, but I think that Mike Tomlin will keep this game close. So +10 I love.
I know we've touched on this in prior weeks, but now that the season is finished, the Pittsburgh Steelers did make the playoffs. Is it safe to say they are the worst, best team ever?
If they win this week, definitely.
Yeah, because like I'm shocked they were in the playoffs.
They
to begin with.
If they win a playoff game, there's no question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see them winning this. I think -550 is pretty comfortable.
It's -550. I fucking hope so. So, yeah.
All right, we're going to move on. Now we're going to get back into the NFC. We're going to be talking about the Green Bay Packers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. This is a Sunday kickoff. Also, just an FYI, Sunday, 1 o'clock for the Pittsburgh Bills game. But the 4 o'clock kickoff here on Sunday is the Packers on the road, +7.5, +310 on the money line, 50.5 is the total, Mikey. The second highest total on the slate here, surprisingly. I know Dallas can put up points, but Packers, I feel like sometimes are fighting the tie a little bit. 55% of the bets coming in on the Cowboys right now. No weather analysis, no Wayno Dopplers here in Dallas. But with that being said, I think that this is a game where it starts to become a little bit of a blowout, and people are going to start counting their chickens too early on the +7.5. And I know it is kind of like a hooky, catchy trap line.
Definitely.
For the Green Bay Packers. But what have the Green Bay Packers, at least from my experience, have been more known for this year? It's coming back late in the game.
Yeah.
I think that there's an opportunity here to catch them live line. Great opportunity, I think, where Dallas Cowboys get up to a 7 or 10 point lead here in the first half, and you can probably catch them closer to like that 14.5, 15.5 line. So I'm saying live bet this.
Okay.
100%. This is a live bet. This is a perfect live bet opportunity, I think. For the Green Bay
All
Packers.
right. I like mix it up.
But for the sake of making a pick in this game, I do like the plus 7.5 if I'm picking a side.
Oh yeah, I like that little live bet angle. That's kind of good. I am on the Cowboys though, minus 7.5. I just think that I was a big Cowboys hater the whole season, right? They're frauds. They're bad against good teams. Yada yada yada. And they were bad against good teams at the beginning of the year. They didn't play anybody, but towards the end of this year, man, they've really turned it on offensively and defensively. Dak looks good. And I think the X factor here, I can't believe it's not really an X factor. It's known, but CeeDee Lamb, nobody on the Packers can cover CeeDee Lamb.
Jair Alexander is a very good cornerback. I'm not saying that he's going to be able to cover him, but he might be able to limit him based off of what he's been doing here the last 5-6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, he is a good corner, but I don't think that he's like up to that level. And I think CeeDee Lamb may not get off 13 receptions for 180 yards, but I can see him going 8 for 100 and a touchdown, like no question about it. And that defensive line is scary. Micah Parsons is back to his form. He's been a terror in the backfield these past few weeks. So the Packers are a good story. Jordan Love seems like is a good quarterback. I think everybody in Packers Nation is happy with him. They found the next guy. Great for them. But I don't think that they keep this game close in the end. I think it's kind of the reverse of what you said. I think it's close in the beginning, and the Cowboys kind of assert their dominance and extend the lead later on. So I'm going to roll with the Cowboys here, minus 7.5.
The only thing about the Cowboys that has me hung up on really actually making a confident bet, whether it be one side or the other in this game, is Tyron Smith. Major questionable in this game. There's a real possibility he doesn't play. He's the anchor of that line. He's what holds that line together. Probably one of the best tackles ever in the history of the NFL. Yeah. And there's, like I said, a huge question mark on him until I find out if he's playing or not. We'll decide when and how I bet this game. So just a tidbit for everybody out there. Betting this game is probably something you really want to pay attention to because the Packers do have relatively decent edge rushers. Moving on, we have the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Detroit Lions. Last week, I mean, the Detroit Lions, I don't know what the fuck was going on. They already locked up the number 3 spot. They were playing for like a perfect scenario if they won and other teams lost to get the 2 spot. In doing so, rather than just accepting the fact they made the playoffs like any other team in that position, Dan Campbell, what does he do? Plays all of his starters. So 1, he fucked me on my parlays. 2, and more importantly, he's getting players that mean a lot to this team injured, like Laporta.
Huge injury.
So now he's an outside shot of playing per Dan Campbell. He hyperextended his knee.
He's not going to play.
Very good chance he does not play.
He's not playing.
And there was, I think, a couple other guys on defense that were banged up. Yeah. So they still maintained the 3 seed. Nothing happened just out of that. So nevertheless, though, Rams plus 3.5 on the road, plus 152 on the money line, 51.5 is the total, Mikey. To say I think this is a smash spot is an understatement.
Let's hear it.
The Los Angeles Rams will not only cover the spread, but they will beat the Detroit Lions in this game, crushing, smashing all the hopes, all the dreams and aspirations that the Detroit Lions fans have had this entire season. Winning the division, good. You know what? You raised your fucking banner already, and that's all you're going to raise this season because you were done. You eliminated the first round of the playoffs. Barry Sanders is going to just disown you guys for already losing round 1 of the playoffs, and that's my spiel. I love the Rams. I love Puka Nacua. No one in that team is going to be able to cover him. When it comes down to it, the Rams do have a better defense than the Lions. It's going to be a shootout. Love the over, too, here at 51.5, which is actually the highest total on the slate. I think that both teams put up like insane points, this insane offense, and when it comes down to it, nuts and bolts, I think that the Rams, with the experience of a coach that's been there, done that in the Super Bowl twice, a quarterback who's also done the same last 2 years ago. Give me the Rams.
Okay.
Smash the Rams. Smash, smash, smash.
Well, I don't really know how to follow that up and say that I am completely on the other side. This is my win one for the little guy play of the year. Listen, everything that you said makes sense. You know, this spot, Matt Stafford going back to Detroit. It's all set up for the Lions to get crushed. Like they've been crushed the past 25 years. They've been beaten. They're downtrodden. They've been stepped on. They've been laughed at. They've been pointed at saying, you'll never be good. You'll never make the playoffs. You're the same old fucking Lions. Well, guess what? They're going to win this game. And they're going to cover this fucking spread. I don't care who's hurt. Dan Campbell will fucking suit it up and go out there if he has to. Don't matter.
Wait, did you hear what Dan Campbell said about Matt Stafford and the fans?
No.
He said, he came out and said to the fan base, he said, I better not see anybody in the entire stadium wearing a Matthew Stafford jersey. And then Matthew Stafford took the high road, him and his wife, and put out some tweet basically saying, that's really unfortunate because they don't feel the same way, blah, blah, blah. They love the city of Detroit.
I don't care.
They're having a lot of good time,
listen,
blah, blah, blah. And
that's the competitive juices.
but you got to think that Matt Stafford now is sitting there and he's like, all right, you know what? Maybe fuck Detroit. Maybe fuck Detroit. Fuck Detroit.
Matt Stafford is way too nice of a guy to say fuck anybody. That guy is like a saint. Like, I think it's going to go the other way where he's like, oh, yeah, I kind of feel bad if I have to beat Detroit. I love Detroit. That's my bit. Listen, this is a little guy play of the fucking year. If the Lions are going to win this game, it might be 40.
Wait, the little guy play of the year. I love it. I do like that name.
It's going to happen. Listen, they're not going to win another game. Let's be clear. They will win this game and get blown off the next game, whoever they play. But they're going to win this one for Detroit. Detroit is due a playoff win, and this is their time, and they will win this game.
Well, we're going to find out Sunday, 8:15 kickoff, and I can't wait to see who's right or wrong in this one because I feel pretty fucking confident about this one. Well, we're going to move on to the last game here on the slate. We have the Philadelphia Eagles who... I mean, holy shit, what the fuck is going on in Philly? God bless everybody in Philly right now. God bless the team, too. Jalen Hurts, finger broken in 30,000 different ways.
I've been hearing some radio calls from like Philly, like sports talk media. Absolute meltdown over there.
It's the end of the world. It's the apocalypse.
It's, if you guys haven't heard, look it up. Some of their like sports radio like personalities, they're right up there with New England. Like they are hilarious and they get so angry and it's great because they're passionate. But they are, you would think that like there was 9/11 in Philadelphia.
Like the sun is melting.
Literally, they are melting down, and it's just great to see. Continue.
Well, Jalen Hurts, like I said, all banged up with his finger. Also, huge question marks on Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. More so A.J. Brown. But they're going into a game here against the Tampa Bay Bucks on the road, where Tampa Bay is currently plus 3 home dogs. Plus 134 on the money line, 43.5 is the total. Monday night kickoff, Mikey. Last Monday night game, I think, for the year. I think this is the last one.
Probably. Yeah.
58% of the bets still coming on the Eagles. Shocking.
I think it depends who play. I think really this game I'll just go first. I think this is like really dependent on the injury report and like who actually plays. You mentioned the big three right there. Jalen Hurts, his finger's fucked up. Very gross. It looked disgusting. I know it's probably fine now, but it's going to be sore. There's going to be some swelling. Like, it's going to affect him. And without his two outside guys, like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, like, they have no offense. Like, Dallas Goedert is a nice piece, but and DeAndre Swift can run the ball, but they're going to be so much more one-dimensional. It's going to be crazy. So, if none of them play, smash spot the Bucks and Baker Mayfield, home playoff game, like, come on. But if they do play, I like the over here if they do play. 43.5 I feel like is a little low.
Yeah.
So if they do play, I like the over.
So I think Jalen Hurts definitely plays. I think Devontae Smith plays, but I think there really is a serious question mark on A.J. Brown.
He's pissed off too.
And I think that there's a real opportunity here to catch the Bucks early where if it turns into A.J. Brown out, I think this line turns into a pick'em.
That's 3 points for one person.
Yeah,
all right.
I think because
that's fair.
Well, I mean, when you think, or maybe plus 1.5.
Yeah, that's
the line cuts in half here. But you think about it, and if AJ's Brown's out, I mean, obviously they still have Dallas Goedert, but he's not a deep downfield threat in my opinion. You double team or shadow a safety over to Devontae Smith, and you've basically now made them what you said, almost one-dimensional.
Yeah, Tampa has good linebackers too. Like they're going to take the tight end away.
Exactly my point. So, I mean, like, I think this is also a smash spot here for the Bucks. Even with A.J. Brown, I still like Tampa Bay +3. I think it's the end of the road for Philly. There's so much dysfunction and bad feelings and everything going on, not just with the fans, but the team. Clearly, A.J. Brown is not a happy camper. And I don't know if you saw, but Baker Mayfield, man, he's locked in. He's at practice, dropping back. What's in his pocket, in his side pocket, in his pant pocket? A fucking Zen tin. Just absolutely gunslinging at practice.
I love that.
Packing Zen in his mouth, in his pant pocket. And this guy means business. He's on a fuck you tour, and I think he gets a win this week, actually. I actually like the +134 also here. I think that at some point here, there's going to be some sort of upset in one of these games, if not two, right?
Yeah.
That's just how it works here in Vegas. And I think that you're going to get them in these two games, Rams, Bucks, or at least one of them. So give me Bucks +3. Give me the Bucks +134. Don't like it, love it.
All right.
Moving on. We're actually we'll wait to get into our Lock Dog Tease bonus lock here. I do want to touch on Super Bowl odds real quick, Mikey.
Yep.
There is a couple teams on my list here that I have that are great value plays, in my opinion, still at this point, compared to some of these other teams that are in the upper echelon based off their regular season records. Before I dip into mine, do you have any teams that you're like just staring down like that's the fucking Super Bowl winner?
Well, first, before we go, do you have any futures left on any of these teams? Like from the beginning of the year?
Oh, I have the bet in. You know the bet.
I know the bet.
$10 to win $875,000.
Yeah, but that's just on NFL. We'll put that bet up. But
that's my only thing still active.
Okay. Yeah, all my futures are dead. I had the Patriots future. Nope. So yeah, without going too chalky here, I could pick the San Fran is obviously the favorite at +220. I'm gonna go down the list a little bit and see where that teams that I like as well. I think the Cowboys +750 is good value. I would think they'd be around +500. I think that they really have a shot to win this. And the NFL is due for the Cowboys to win a Super Bowl. I know a lot of people don't like the Cowboys. They are still America's team. The NFL, it would behoove the NFL for them to win a Super Bowl. Jerry Jones might be on his way out. There's been rumblings like, one more for Jerry, then he's gone. So I like the Cowboys at +750. And then for a longer shot, give me the Browns +3,000. Give me the motherfucking Browns and Joe Flacco +3,000. A little sprinkle there. Crazier things have happened.
So there's only two teams currently on this list that have not won a Super Bowl. The Detroit Lions and the Cleveland Browns. I already have the Detroit Lions being eliminated here in the first round. So what other better team to win the Super Bowl that has never won a Super Bowl than the Cleveland Browns? Joe Flacco coming back for redemption and catching his second Super Bowl.
Against the Ravens. Oh, no, it's AFC. Never mind.
Either way, get to the AFC
Championship. They could play. That would be quite the story.
Exactly. My point.
That would be quite the story.
I caught them at +3,500 when I put them into my mega parlay, which I think I shared to our Instagram, but I'll share it again with this clip over it. Nevertheless, though, I'm picking a team from the AFC and the NFC that I both like to win the Super Bowl. Obviously, first being the Cleveland Browns. I just think defense wins championships. They probably have the best defense left amongst these teams. So give me them. And then the other team, the Los Angeles Rams might be the scariest team in the playoffs this season in terms of being underestimated, but having the most experience, whether it be Super Bowl or just overall team, in my opinion, on the defensive and offensive side of the ball. They're athletic. They're scary. They can keep up in a shootout with any other team, I feel like, but they also can play the defensive grinded out game with Aaron Donald and other people.
And they're healthy.
And they're healthy.
They're healthy. They're one of the healthier teams
so
left.
So +5,000, I mean, to throw what is $25, you know what I mean, on a +5,000
math. Oh, Jesus.
No, I'm just saying, I'm not asking you to do the math. I'm just saying, like, what is it to anybody to throw a quick 25 on that? I think there's tremendous value on that. I really do.
Yeah.
I actually think there's actually better value now on that than the Browns based off of just talking myself over it the last few days. So I do like the Rams +5,000. Moving on to the last thing before we hit on our Lock Dog tease, I do want to touch on the draft real quick, Mikey. I got a couple odds here. Caleb Williams to be drafted first overall, -650 currently. The field, +470. I think there's actually a lot of value on the field, unless you think different.
So here's my thing. I think so. The Bears have been putting out the past a few days that they love Caleb Williams. Obviously, they're putting that out to drive the price up. I don't think they're going to either they stay at that pick and pick him or they trade out and whoever trades in picks him. So for that reason, I don't really see the value of plus 470 for anybody else. Something really crazy I think would have to happen. Somebody that doesn't need a quarterback would have to trade in that spot. Maybe someone that needs a wide receiver from, the only way I could see that happening is Marvin Harrison Jr. going 1. But I think that's a long shot. So I would stay away from that line in general. I never want to take a minus 650 bet on a person getting drafted. But yeah, I don't know if I love the value on plus 470.
So I actually don't mind it because, I know today it was released that basically Chicago got rid of a ton of their offensive personnel, whether it be coaching or just players in general. So it seems like almost they're getting ready to try to reload and restructure that whole entire offense. What better way to do it than with a new quarterback?
Yeah.
But I think they're doing exactly what you're mentioning, which is getting other teams thinking that, hey, Justin Fields on the move. I actually like the plus 470, and I even like Marvin Harrison Jr. better at plus 1,500 to get picked number 1 overall, just simply for the fact that they need a second wide receiver in that offense.
Yeah.
And what better way to add a big, huge physical body and make DJ Moore this number 2?
So they keep Justin Fields?
I think they keep Justin Fields. I think that they're...
With the new regime?
Yes, I think they're one more playmaker away from being a serious contender.
Yeah, defense is pretty good.
And I think they really surprise a lot of people next year. So that's where I'm at.
All right.
Moving on. Finally, we are here to the Lock Dog Tease bonus lock segment of the podcast. Mikey, who's your first lock?
Little guy play of the week. Give me the Lions. -3. Come on. Come on.
My first lock, Chiefs -4. I just think that the elements, Miami's record going to this game versus, teams above 500, and just a whole lot more plays to the strength of the Kansas City Chiefs in this game. I think a lot of people are going to be hammering Miami as it gets closer to kickoff. Give me the Chiefs -4. Your dogs or dog.
You think I could parlay Bucks money line and Nick Sirianni fired? Yes. You think that's possible? I'm dead serious. I'm going with the Bucks here. And I think Nick Sirianni gets fired. I'm going to try to parlay that. If I can, we'll put it out on Instagram. I'm going to try to do that.
I actually don't hate that, to be honest. I also like the Bucks money line for the dog. As mentioned, I also like Rams money line, so I'm doubling up my dogs here. Double dog.
All right, double
dog. Your tease. Do you have a teaser?
Let's go Browns money line, and let's go Steelers +14.
In the rare event that the Rams or the Bucks or both don't win their respective games, I like them each at +6.5 teased up. Browns +3.5, and that's a +216 teaser play for you. Nice and a little juicy.
All right, I like that one.
Some low-hanging fruit for you, Mikey Rum. Moving on, final pick, bonus lock. Who do you got?
Give me the Steelers +10. I just think it will be a close game. The Bills will win. Josh Allen will throw picks. He'll keep it close. Mike Tom will keep it close. Steelers run game keeps it close. Yeah, +10 Steelers.
My bonus lock, give me the Rams Lions over 51.5.
It's going to be an exciting game.
Love betting on high totals.
Yeah.
Not for the point.
You like fun.
Yeah,
you
like fun.
Yeah,
it's for friends who do things together. And so that's the podcast, everybody. Good to be back after 2 weeks off. Do you have any, we haven't podcast into the new year, any New Year's resolution, whether it be lifestyle or sports betting, anything particular?
Sports betting? Don't lose.
It's a good place to start.
It's a tough one. It's a
good place to start.
Lifestyle, let's see. No, I'm not going to do anything.
Hey, you know what? At least you're a man.
I'm going to be my New Year's resolution is to be realistic with myself. I'm going to be the same fucking DJ that I was last year. What about you?
Betting wise, I think it is to limit my. Fuck that. I'm going to stay the same. Give me the unicorn bets, baby. Give me all those. Give me all that shit. Well, again, thanks to everybody that consistently tunes in. NFL Wildcard Weekend is going to be a fun one. Before we leave, though, let's not forget this podcast is presented to you by Sleeper. Go to the App Store, download the Sleeper app, use promo code RFDGEM Podcast. Get that 100% deposit match on your first deposit up to $100. And as always, Sunday Swagger. Look good, feel good, play good. Do it in your Sunday Swagger by going to sundayswagger.com using promo code DGen15 to get 15% off your entire bag at checkout. And last but not least, Mikey, I am still a little bit butthurt. We didn't have any refreshing Cape Cod craft cocktails here on the pod this week, but shit happens. Go to CapeCodCraftCocktails.com, find a local package store near you that sells them. As always, drink responsibly. Any final thoughts, concerns, gripes about wildcard weekend? Or are you feeling pretty good
I need
about
a
your
fucking cough drop. That's all I can think about right now.
Yeah, flu game went well.
I hope so.
Flu
It
game
probably
went well,
sounds so bad, but whatever.
TBD, to be determined here, based
Yeah.
off the record. Well, again, thanks everybody. We're out.
Peace.
It's time. Your triple bogey, long shot parlay, full send degenerates had a place to call home. Look no further. It's the DJ